Okay, here we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I was puttering and venting about life and forgot that Liz is wearing her magnificent piece here, but it's inside and it's not chilly in here.
And I'm about to say it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sides show so she can show off and take off what she's wearing. Well, I'll try that again. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. In sunny and very chilly, had to scrape the frosty off my windshield this morning, Brevard.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
And she's wearing this awesome thing that she made that would be great outside, but we're inside.
It is great outside, especially with like fingerless gloves that come up to your elbow. But
I wore this in
it's
too.
this. Rebecca we had Furlicious 2 years ago, year and a half ago. Everybody made cowls.
There's some in the sale bins. It's from Cascade. So
they quit making it after everybody went nuts. So I think it's Natalie's fur collar. It was designed for what's the little
we
eyelash
only
one.
have the zebra left in our sale bin. You'll have to contact us if you want this. This colorway is not what she's wearing. We don't have that anymore. You have two colors
I have
on them.
Chinchilla and I don't remember what
that wasn't fern, but it was the really popular one that I made my cowl of.
Yeah.
Don't even know where mine is anymore.
And so I found Natalie's.
It knits up to feel like faux fur.
It's
really
awesome.
soft. And
So supposed to be worn like this.
yeah, you started with supposed to be worn like something, and then is there another way you want to wear
I like it worn like this.
And what's the difference?
The collar sits closer to your neck. This kind of pulls
lower.
everything away from your neck. So like if it's super, super cold,
The other one makes it go whoop,
it goes
right?
whoop, up around your neck, and it's got squiggles
it's like
and
the
wiggles
dinosaurs
fake.
from Jurassic Park.
It's squiggles and wiggles.
Yeah, you added your own squiggles and
I
wiggles.
added my own squiggles and wiggles.
On FaceTime last night, we looked at putting real squiggles and wiggles, which is like a mink.
Yeah, Squiggles and Wiggles are two minks that a friend from Knit Night gave me out of her grandmother's.
I was like, ooh, add squiggles and wiggles. It was too much.
Yeah, they didn't work. But Squiggles and Wiggles have feet.
Stuff. Yeah.
I wanted to put eyes on Squiggles and these Squiggles and Wiggles.
I have little.
I know.
But they're not the smallest. But I have little like
two little eyes on.
But then it might scratch you the other side of the eyes.
Yeah.
The safety eyes.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your.
That's okay.
But it's pettable.
It is
when we're not germy, it's pettable.
It was so like I made half of it. I think I was working on it during the yarn crawl.
Olden days.
So it's been
pre-pandemic.
A long time because I found it in my yarn crawl bag that I bought from from Spunky Sheep. Yeah. So it's been a long time. So I pulled it out and then I finished it. And
so that's how your weekend went.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I also did other projects too, but Christmas presents just like you.
Yeah, I have Christmas presents to show off before I mail them. I didn't mail them yet because, I have to show them off here.
Yeah.
This is already getting hot for me too. By the way, only this morning I sewed in the ends on my Elphaba cowl and the Tierra del Fuego, which is still 15% off until tomorrow.
That's what I was going to wear my sweater, but I would have died of heat exhaustion.
You would have, because she has a sweater in the same colors. This is great. It's curling. If it didn't curl, it'd be like up over here. So I might have to fold it in half to wear it and see the pattern. I also have not lightly blocked this like it's suggested, which is part of why it's curling more. But blocking is not going to keep it from ever curling again. It's just going to flatten it out for a little while because things are going to do what they naturally want to do. For me, blocking is helpful to flatten out a sweater piece until it's seamed and then it'll take care of itself, or to open up lace work in a pattern. but it's not going to keep stockinette from ever rolling again. So just a word of warning. And I went through when I was dressing to come in today, I went through the same idea of what am I going to wear? Because it's going to be cold out. And we're going to have people who show up today and say, it's cold out, I need to come inside. And we're going to say, you don't have an appointment.
We love you.
We love you. But we're going to work outside because you don't have an appointment. But no. We're standing firm to our COVID guidelines as firmly as we can. Because numbers are going up, people. And you know us, at the very beginning, we were trying not to panic everyone and trying to be like gentle with our language about all of this. And then it was like, oh, forget that. Okay. But we love you all, and this is how we stay connected now. So this was wonderful. I will probably have this back on when I'm dealing with outdoor people because I didn't put on, like, my hip stripe sweater would be the other thing to wear. But this got my Mr. Rogers COVID cardigan. I have been wearing it home when I get cold, and it is bulky yarn instead of like worsted weight yarn. So even though it is open in the front, and I have buttonholes, but I never put buttons on my Beth cardigan for the formal name of this pattern, but I call it my COVID cardigan. It's Beth cardigan by Kate Davies. Let me show off the lovely back once again.
I like it.
It's fun. It's raglan, but it's got a funky, sharp raglan in the back. And if you get the pullover version of the Beth, it does the same thing in the front. But this, I will just wrap around. I might have to stick a shawl pin in this if I'm going to go outside and talk to someone for a while because they forget that I'm standing out there with a jacket on. So, not that I'm bitter about that or anything.
There are moments that, you know, our patio is a wind tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And
man-made wind tunnel.
So, you know, it's 30-something degrees with a wind chill.
But right now, I'm actually kind of toasted. So it's like when I would teach and I would have kids, because you have to go between buildings for classes, and they would come in their winter coat and they wouldn't take it off because they were cold. And I'd turn into my mother and I would say, if you don't take it off inside, it's going to feel colder outside. You're going to acclimate to in here.
Yeah.
And then when you go outside in your winter jacket, you're going to say, why am I so cold? And I'm going to look at you with that teacherly, I told you so. I will say this weekend with Alexander, when he said he was cold, I totally pulled a mother on him, turned into my mother, and I said, put a sweater on. I have become my mother. I love you, Mom. I have become you. Aren't you proud of me?
Bernie's gotten to the point where he took his sweater off because he was getting warm, and then promptly put it right back on because we still haven't turned it on.
Speaking of my mom, trying to keep some mystery with Christmas. Let's forget it. These are going in the mail to family members for Christmas tomorrow, and then I'm done with mailing. But this is one sweater I made holding 2 colors of Sugar Bush Dawson. I think I showed off when it was halfway done or something, one of the last times we were on. This is seed stitch, knit 1, purl 1, and on the next row, knit your pearls and purl your knits, so there's texture. And then these are for 2 people who might wear them at the same time. So what I did was they have a similar blue color in them and then a different alternating color. This is the mistake rib, which is really fun. It's squishy and stretchy, and it leaves you with kind of a rib looking thing down both sides. It's a neat way to have that rib look without it totally compressing, because a knit 1, purl 1 rib would just go. It'd be pretty, but this gives you some garter type texture between those knit stitches, but it's also reversible, and it's really easy, really easy. This one, I use Purl Soho's Easy Mistake Stitch Scarf, but I changed the number of stitches because I was knitting on whopping big needles. But as long as you have an odd number of stitches for the mistake rib, an odd number of stitches for the seed stitch helps too, because if you have an odd number, you can always start with a knit on every row. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, flip around. Knit, purl, knit, and it'll work. Because you'll end, it'll work. Anyway, because I think you end with a knit and start with a knit, but it works because it's flipped around. Trust me. This one, odd number of stitches. Well, it's not just an odd number of stitches. This multiple of 4 plus 3. If you've ever seen that on a pattern and you're befuddled by it, it means that you want to pick a multiple of 4. So 4, 8, 12, 15.
Yeah.
That's a multiple of 3, sorry. Let me try it again. I went to bed late last night. 4, 8, she says she doesn't math. That's a fallacy. 4, 8, I suddenly went to multiples of 3. That was because that 3 thing at the end. So 4, 8, 12, 16. Which is what I did. I picked 16. I tried it with 12 and then add 3 onto the end because it means that the pattern repeat is 4 stitches. But then to make it work, you need to tack on a certain number at the end. It doesn't, a multiple of 4 plus 3 does not mean you're gonna go up by 7s. Go up by 4s, not like I did the first time.
Crochet does that, but most of the time the adding is for the initial chain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is to make the multiple work out right. So pick a multiple of 4 and then add 3 to it, and you are good to go. So mine was 19. The 15 I was thinking about before, I started with 15 because I'm like, oh, 15, let me do 15 here. It was this, since it's like an accordion,
It's squishy.
This is more stitches across than this one, but this is flatter. It's not as accordion squishy. So this is only 15 stitches across. This is 19 because I did that 16 I was talking about and I added 3. So what ends up happening is 2 skeins of each yarn. But this, even though it looks thinner when I let it go, is more stitches across. So if I hold these up and we play the game of which one's longer. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. I'm trying to make it look nice. Do, 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 do. Oh, so much about looking nice. See how much longer the one that is fewer stitches across is? Even though it looks wider, it's fewer stitches. So this guy is actually, I thought it was 6 inches. It's probably at least 8 inches, almost a foot longer when the weight is pulling on them, right? So, but you know, it's all good. These are going in the mail tomorrow. And then everyone else I have Christmas presents left for lives with me. Alexander got his hat this weekend because we celebrated Christmas way the heck early for many reasons. But now he can wear it. And it's a little loose, so if he spins his head really fast, the hat almost stays in place. He's like, it's cool. I'm like, honey, you gotta learn when you're saying things that might not be taken as cool things to someone who's trying to make the right size for you. Anyway, he was having fun with it, so
he'll grow into it.
He will. Let's see, we got both of those showing. Ta-da!
I did Christmas presents for my in-laws. Who will never.
Yes. Okay. Going back to your Christmas presents.
Never see. I did the fisherman's wife beret.
That looks so cute. I actually like that color.
I do, but not on me.
It's not a U color. I didn't say it was a U color.
So it's super bulky yarn on.
It's the
10s.
cocoa.
Yeah, and this is the cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
I like the I really like how it does the star in the middle. I'll show you guys. So there's like a star in the very back.
You can take some show notes on that pattern.
Really like that. And then
yeah, that makes neat stuff.
I did. Oh, and this I yarn chickened. I don't know why, but that was yarn chicken. So one.
You don't know why? It's because it took 70. Almost more than a ball of yarn. That's why you yarn chicken.
I know, but it's cool to know that I can. But yeah, and then this I made for my father-in-law. You can wear it with the brim down or the brim up. Just a little stocking cap out of super bulky on 15s. And
that's the first one's the
fisherman's wife.
That one is there a pattern or did you make it?
There was a pattern. And it's a super easy pattern. It was a blog post type thing, and I'll have to find it because let me find it.
And right now you're working with Mamacha, not to like
I'm doing
multitask.
this hat in Mamacha.
Nice. And it's a colorway that's discontinued, so you can't get that cut. Mamacha is alpaca and merino, and oh my gosh, it's so wonderful and squishy. And it's on our website.
It's the big hat.
The
by
big hat.
Davina Choi. Choi.
Okay, so I can put it in the description.
It is a super fast, like I said, size 15s. I did both this hat and I'm doing this hat on double
size
points.
15s goes fast.
It's due basically 2.5 inches.
This was on 15s or even 17s.
Yeah, it's just the fastest hat. So I was like, Bernie, you're getting a super bulky
Bernie,
hat.
you're getting a hat for Christmas. Yay!
So yeah, and I started a sweater last week.
Yeah. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. It's the 3-color sweater. It's by Universal Yarn. People.
I can get you the pattern if you buy the yarn for it, but depends on what size you want to make for it. It could take a lot of yarn.
It takes 4 skeins of 2 different colors.
And we found typos in
I found
typos in the repeats of the larger sizes. She didn't quite.
It's an interesting pattern.
I want to say maybe the repeat line usually is this red line that goes around the part that's repeated. So and it does these funky jig jogs so the pretty all over increases look right. And I'm wondering if she was trying to have the larger sizes start with a wider neck, but the pattern repeats didn't reflect that. They didn't work out that, like, the math on the cast on worked out, but then the way that the repeats happened didn't work. And
yeah. So I'm fudging it. I'm just kind of going and.
Because if you add one stitch, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
If you add one stitch for a repeat that is supposed to be symmetrical, without adding a stitch on the other side, things get wonky.
So, and like the directions were cast on this many, and it doesn't work for the extra large and the 2X to just cast on that many and
which means
go with her pattern.
There should have been more testers for more sizes of this probably, rather than just kind of exponentially trying to make it work.
And people have done it without help, so
they probably fudged it, or it came out wonky and they went, oh well.
So it's an all over Fair Isle sweater that's supposed to go down past your butt. It's steeped. And that's part of the reason that I want to do it.
She wants to steak.
I am not following the length of the pattern because it's going to get cropped right here where all my sweaters get cropped. So it'll be long sleeved, and I'm probably not even decreasing in the sleeves. I just want straight sleeves. So
it's gonna be cool.
But it's all over Fair Isle in the 2 colors. So like the large and the extra large take 4 skeins of each color. And then 1 skein of a contrast color that edges the entire thing. So we'll see how far I get this winter.
It's going to take all winter. You've already gotten some done. That's cool.
Yeah, I actually have to work on it. But
We work at a yarn shop. Don't you sit around and knit all day?
No.
I know. We are so tired. That reminds me to remind you all that we are actually going to take a break, as terrifying as that is for me and my sensibility of keeping the shop going. We don't want to fall to pieces mentally and physically. So we are between Christmas and New Year's, and New Year's falls right before a weekend, and we're not going to change our hours. So it's basically between Christmas and January 5th is the day we come back. The shop will be closed. We most likely will not be shipping during that time unless things get super overwhelming. So packages bought during that time will be sent out on the 5th. Or maybe the 4th, just so
depending
we're not,
on life.
Depending on life, yeah.
We will be here Christmas Eve. We won't be here on Christmas Day.
No.
That's when vacay starts.
That's the 25th, right?
Yeah.
I'm just checking
Christmas
my
Day
dates.
is the 25th.
But
Every year.
and unfortunately for you all, and we apologize in advance, we won't be filming either because we'll be at home resting. So prep yourself for that so it doesn't take you by surprise. And maybe go back and watch old episodes. Back when I had curly short hair and and we were sitting shoulder to shoulder. It's nostalgic.
I went back and looked, and I showed Bernie like our.
You showed the thumbnails.
Yeah. If you look at the thumbnails, it's do,
and then boxes, and then we're back together, but we're like
way apart,
like this.
Yeah.
Like edges of the street. And even then, my sister was freaking out at me. It's funny, but not funny, but funny. Yeah. Okay. So Christmas, on the Christmas present front, I have started, these are for mystery people. I've started socks. I made a whole bunch of socks. These are my Prims, my Prim 6s. The Prim double points are amazing and lovely. And oh my gosh, ergonomics with that little, look at that little nubby at the end that helps hook and catch the yarn.
I wish these were Prims. And
these are like the writing is almost worn off of them. They're like almost pink because I have used them so much, because I made multiple pairs of socks for my family last year. But I'm making a couple more pairs. I'm making a pair out of this lovely purple worsted weight Fair Isle, so self-patterning yarn. I'll show you how these go. Just found out the sizes I need to make, so I'm busting into these, but I've only got a couple rows done. So but I'm working on a bajillion other things, which I can show off. Not a thing.
Not a thing.
I'm getting back to my crochet roots, we could maybe say. I showed off some crochet patterns last week in the newsletter, a week ago Monday. So I was like, well, I have to make some. And I finally got this. This is my morning meditation this morning. I finally got my whirlwind beanie to the point of doing the whirlwind.
Looks so
Look at that.
cool.
It's gonna keep going around in a spiral. Isn't that fun? The ribbing is just front post and back post double crochet. And then this is done with half double crochets and some front post double crochets to do that's fun.
I like that it's in almost a springy color.
Yeah,
like
which you picked. So of course you like it.
Well, but it really lets everything show off.
That's yarn barf.
Is that your hat?
Huh? Hat. It's a hat. I restarted it on a smaller, going over my nubbies makes this weird, but this is the perfect size. Look at that. That's going to be perfect. It's going to be absolutely perfect. And just ignore the little tumors I have from my mask wearing. I tried it on without the little nubbies, and it's great. So this is Mirasol Chichi, which is a Tweety. It's probably gonna leave. When I wound it, it looked like there were little animals running, like a flea infestation on my table because the little tweed fleckies came off.
Ew.
But they didn't move, so it was okay.
Are they dead? Well, they are now.
They are now. Oh, I won't tell you about the
No. I know where this is going. No.
When I finished my shower, I discovered the spider did not survive it. I'm glad I didn't see it before the shower started. So, yeah. But that's all I'll say because she really doesn't like spiders. I won't say anything about the size of it or anything.
No.
No. Okay, so what I want to say about Chi-Chi and the little flea infestation got me off track, but not real fleas. It's all good. This is an alpaca and cotton, believe it or not. And it's really fun, but not it's funny. It's not it doesn't feel the same as the wool. But it kind of, there's some heft to it. There's some weight to this. So even though it doesn't have the insulation of wool, it's still going to keep me really nice and warm for whenever I want to wear it. Like this feels heavier than if I'd made it out of alpaca and wool. So that's the way it's going to keep me warm.
And for people that are allergic to wool, the alpaca and the cotton, the alpaca is going to add warmth.
The alpaca is going to be a different animal.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're not going to be allergic to that too. But who knows?
Yeah.
You got to test it.
Or people that want a little less warmth.
Yeah.
Like Floridians.
And this is a Florida color. Look at that. Woo! Okay. So I'm making that. And I'm down to a G hook. It's written for an H, but I'm down to a G because I'm a loose crocheter. Even with my gauge tightening up over time, I'm still too loose. But I fixed that, not by like training myself. I could. Liz has done it. But instead of trying to change how I crochet, because that will lead to failure for me on one project, I changed my hook size. That's what I have control over. So the other thing, so I profiled about 3 or 4 crochet patterns, and I started 2 of them. The other thing I started, we got in new colors of llama lace, which we may or may not talk about tomorrow. We haven't decided yet, but it's a thought. It hasn't gotten approval yet, but it's a thought. One of the new colors, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That almost looks like the right color on camera. So I decided to try. Let me get the picture. This is the, I don't want to lose my show notes. This is the beginning of the Dolce Vinci by Elena Fedotova. She says Lena on this. Apparently she's changed her name. Different nickname. This is good. Or I've been writing it wrong for a while. I like that it's a cowl, but it's loose and wide. And it's made by going back and forth this way to make that little V. And I've done 2 repeats.
Ooh. It looks really cool.
I'm trying to remember which side's the front side. I think this is the front side.
Open close to.
I'm supposed to be marking the center stitch with a stitch marker too. I didn't have any at home. This is the problem with running a yarn shop. You leave everything at the shop.
They come out of my bag and attach them to your project before you leave.
So want to give you fingers right now.
It's okay. Just tonight during knit night, she's gonna go. So I don't have scissors, and about 5 of us are gonna go.
No, I'm getting better at that. But see, it's got waves in it. It's got sections here where it goes from a single crochet up to a triple and down to a single.
Ooh.
And
I like this.
And the way that this is constructed with the V in the middle, so you're adding stitches in the middle and you're taking it away at the edge, that ripple offsets with this ripple. It works. You're doing the same pattern repeat, but it ripples. And the eyelets are the fun part too. But the bad news for you, Liz, is at least half of these rows are single crochet. Back loop single crochet at that. She doesn't like single crochet that much. I don't really either, but if it's gonna have a result that I like in the end, this should be really pretty. But I've done 2 repeats. I'm supposed to do at least 20. I'm gonna have to see when there's 20. You do these repeats, so these V's, and then you block it before you put the edging on, because you really want to see how it's going to open up and how it's going to breathe. And it's written for an E, and I've gone down to a D, and we'll see if I made a mistake with that, if it's too small, but I didn't test my gauge. And that is going to be, if you don't test your gauge, then you accept the consequences, and that's what I'm willing to do.
The llama lace is 100%
it's
llama.
So soft. Oh my gosh.
It is like I've done. My butterbeer shawl has llama lace in the contrast. It is so soft.
It's like this is going. It's squishing under my hands. It's going to be so wonderful.
It is fingering weight.
Mm-hmm. It's called llama lace, but it's fingering.
It's fingering weight. Mm-hmm. And we have some new yummy. Oh. I bogarted a lot of the old llama lace.
Yeah, because like colors, it's just like the some of the yarn, like every yarn we've put up lately on a Wednesday, we go to list it and then go, oh look, we can't get these colors back in again because they're switching colors over, moving colors out, moving colors in. So we preemptively check that out. You've bogarted some of the old colors that we had.
Yeah.
We have some. It's up in the corner.
They can't see it. It's above the.
Oh yeah. It's right above the ones with the pink labels on the camera. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna I'm working on doing a whole wall rearranging.
Oh God, it's gonna take forever, isn't it? When do we have time for that? Vacation. No.
Yeah, we'll come in and close the curtains, and people will knock on the windows,
and we'll freeze like no one's here. And we'll go away. I'll try tomorrow maybe to have that row show, but So we have
I
some
have
colors
another
that are
idea.
never going to come back again, and we'll try to mark that in the listing. And we have some new colors that we'll get back in again a lot. Like last week's Yarn of the Week, the Mushishi, we are already out of some colors we can't get back in. And we said that last Wednesday.
Yeah.
We said get them now. We'll tell you which ones they are, and the ones we can get back in, we will. I've already ordered more. So, so that's my crochet that I've been working on, and this came in after we talked to you guys on Thursday, and I'm so excited about this one too.
She's starting another sweater.
Because this is a sweater book. It's all Look, all sweaters, all the time. It's my happy
pretty
place.
Most of the sweaters recommend 12 to 18 inches of positive ease.
But some of the models are not wearing it with that big positive ease.
Yeah.
That's her thing. I'm not making it with that much. This model is wearing one that she only has a couple inches positive ease on it. So again, positive ease, what we're talking about is when you measure the girls, when you measure your widest part here, positive ease plus is how much extra room you will have. Negative ease minus is how much it will cling to you. And it will be form-fitting.
Hats should have 0 ease, except for
Zero
a
or
slouchy.
maybe like a little bit of negative ease,
Yeah.
so the ribbing can cling to your
Yeah.
head instead of staying in place when you move your head, like my stepson.
Fingerless gloves. A little
Little
bit
bit.
of negative ease.
So
Just
they
a little
cling and
bit.
you stay warm.
Yeah.
Sweaters, depends on the person and the body type if you want that. If you want to accentuate, and like I have girls, but I also have muffin top. So I don't want to accentuate, well, and the girls are big enough, I don't want to accentuate them. So I'm looking for positive ease. Most people over a certain age have a certain body type where they want to camouflage a little bit.
I like positive ease. I positive ease in my shawls. And shawls don't require any plus or minus.
Well, and you've also, with the dresses you make, and perhaps your body type as well,
Yeah, both.
that if you don't have the positive ease, like when we're talking about this area and the hips, if you don't have the positive ease up here, if it doesn't do a flare like an A-line, it's going to cling too tight right here. And that's not what most people want. I mean, whatever floats your boat, but know what you're getting into.
I've got like
I thought you
22
froze.
yards. No, I was
but
counting.
You're sitting right here.
I
You
was
can't
counting.
freeze.
I've got like 22 yards of fabric on. So if I did a sweater that was a 45-inch around
and went past
and went
that
down,
mark
it would
right here.
It would not. No.
It would even probably constrict your movements, and it wouldn't be comfortable.
No.
So again, this, because I got sidetracked when I was showing it off. This is Ready Set Raglan from Pom Pom Quarterly. So they just do wonderful publications and like printing and everything to begin with.
We are having to order more of them.
I already have ordered more of these.
Good. So if you order them,
if you see we're out of stock,
yeah,
contact the shop because you can place a pre-order. I have ordered 10 more.
Because
this is just going to be...
We got 8 and they're gone.
I'm so excited I'm talking over Liz more than usual. Yeah. Well, they're not gone, but we sold 2, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 are out the door already. This one's my copy because I've already started using it. You don't want it. I might have bent it a little. And we had at least 2 people on Knit Night on Friday who went, ooh. So that's more than half of what we had. We got 8. I was just going to test them because I'm like, it could be awesome, but I don't want to go in whole hog if I don't know. And then I got it and I went, it's awesome. So we've ordered some more. It might take a while to get here, but I didn't order by the initial ship date, like the initial pre-order date to get them in time. And I got them on the day we could start selling them, which was the 10th.
She goes, I'm not sure when we can sell them. And I open the box and I'm like, today.
So that's perfect, So, turnaround is actually doing okay. Although now that they've been released, everyone's probably like, I want one. And everyone's probably ordering them. So it could take a while for our next 10 to come in. Anyway, raglan refers to this type of diagonal shoulder seam. And for top-down sweaters, it is a fantastic way to make a sweater. And the pictures, it's got pictures of different, it gives you suggestions if you want to do different collars on them. For that positive ease thing, look at this. That means really wide across the torso, but that can be super comfy. You don't have to though. It has recommendations on what size to pick. You can adjust your sleeve length. In the back, it gives you suggestions on ways you can personalize it. It's got ones that are garter where you're if you were knitting flat, you'd be knitting every row. To make it garter and swishy in the round, you have to knit a row, purl a row, or find other magic ways to make that happen. It's got like, this has a cable braid on the raglan seam if you want to try something fancy and fun. I'm doing a super basic 2x2 rib for the whole thing. I'm doing my version of this one. I'll show you in 1 second.
There's an Estonian starflower that's like
not for the faint of heart.
Not for the faint of needle.
That's what they said, right? It's just, I mean, it's got different textures. This is the one with the Estonian. Is really pretty.
I really, really like that sweater. It's got flowers going down the
Reverse stockinette means you purl. Unless you do it inside out. You purl the whole thing.
Not doing that. I like the star flowers, but...
Well, but the thing is, if you learn the chart and stuff, you could ostensibly do this as a stockinette, as a knit one with the star flowers. It might show up differently, but and they're suggesting that you experiment, that you engage and do what you want to. See variations and adjustments. It's got suggestions for ways that you can make this yours. And it has suggestions for exploring color, spelled with U, like pulling together different colors to do some color blocking and making it personal. And then creating your own raglan design. Measuring, substituting, like taking the basics of this book to make it yours. And then tutorials. The whole section at the end with tutorials is, okay, if any of these instructions don't make sense, they have drawn out pictures.
It is fantastic.
And charts in the back for what abbreviations mean. And just, this is a great reference guide. It's not gonna hit every button for everybody, but you've got at least 8 basic designs here that you can do in different ways. And then ways that you can jump off of this and do your own thing.
It's like 8 patterns, and then should you choose to do your own adventure.
Yeah, it's one of those books that, like, we don't carry many pattern books here. But this is one that I thought was definitely worthwhile because it's adaptable. It's absolutely adaptable.
Pretty much once you've done a raglan sweater, you should be familiar with how raglan works.
This is a great jumping off for everything.
Yes.
So, $26.75, I think. I'm calling off the top of my head. Is the price for this, and it's well worth it. Oh my gosh. But after all that lead up, and you can do short row shaping for the neckline or not. You can engage in that or not. So I went, ooh. And I looked at that 2x2 rib and said, that just looks comfy to me. And it's different than any sweater I'm making. So this is what I've done so far. I also said, hey, the Friday Harbor. I liked their idea of a 2-color sweater, so I'm going to do it with these 2 colors. And Friday Harbor is a merino and silk. That the silk is kind of the nubbies. There's some nubbies, and they show up more in some colors than other. But these 2 teals, I thought that was going to be gorgeous. Now, what they've done for theirs is you start top down, and you called separating for the sleeves. You get to this point where the underarms, and you put the sleeves on holders, and you keep going. And what they've done is they've switched colors right there. But that's going to put my color change like right here. Remember what I said about not wanting to draw attention to the girls? I'm probably going to keep going in the teal until right about here. That's my plan. So look at that raglan seam right there. It's so pretty. And the short row shaping means the back ends up being higher than the front here. So it doesn't choke you off when you put it on. Like if you put your shirt on backwards, this is actually higher. It may not feel like it, or you may not notice that when you look at it, but it is. So it depends on if you want a really high collar or not. If you're going to do a turtleneck, which is the other version of this, which is on the cover, you may not need the shaping to drop that down. I'm going to go back and pick up stitches along this and put a collar on it later. But here's the fun thing that I've done this twice now. because I went home and started doing it. I did my gauge swatch, which was flat. And if you're knitting in the round, you really should swatch in the round. But I was like, ain't nobody got time for that.
The only time we got time for that is color
Yeah, sometimes.
work.
But again, you pay the price if you don't check it.
Yes.
So I had to, what I discovered was my pearls in between my knit stitches were not looking uniform. The first one was looking gappy from switching from knit to purl, was pulling and stretching, and the second one was fine. And I didn't discover this till I started doing it in the round, which was after my short row shaping, because my short row shaping goes back and forth, just like my gauge swatch did. So I sent Liz a picture and I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of bugging me, but I don't want to pull it out. And she knew. I ended up pulling it out and redoing
I
it.
was like, just go ahead and pull it out.
Yeah.
You'll feel better.
I wasn't even this far into it. And I do feel better because this looks better. What I did is I'm knitting 2 and then I'm purling into the back loop of my first stitch and then regular purling my second stitch. And when I get back to this for morning meditation, you'll probably see that. But I knew the Friday Harbor was gonna just have nice bold stitch definition for this ribbing. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Get the book. If we run out of books,
We'll get more.
we're getting more. But there's all different thicknesses of yarn. There's ways to adapt it for other thicknesses of yarn. We can help you out with that if we can figure it out. Oops, I just dropped something. I don't think it's something I worked on this weekend though. So now I understand to connect it to this one, which I got a little bit of work done on. And then we need to go because we have a customer coming in like 6 minutes and the table's not ready. I did a little bit more on my sorrel sweater or sorrel or however it's supposed to be said. I'm sure there's a million ways to pronounce it. But this, with this dip down stitch that you're doing, so I've got my collar already in place on this one. This has a lot of pearls right in here. And oh gosh, it's gonna be so lovely. But she has you purl through the back loop on the edges of this purl section. And now that makes sense because it tightens up the transition between the knits and the pearls, which can get a little funky when it's repetitive and it's going to be noticed. So it's something I've just recently learned. See, continually learning new stuff. And so I am almost to the point, I think I have about 11 of these dip downs. I'm almost to the point where I could try this on and see if it's the right size because the increases will be over, I think. I have to double check the instructions for why to try it on, but it's like, try it on at this point to make sure that it's gonna fit okay. And if I can get to that point, maybe I'll do it on camera. It all depends. That could be happening over Christmas break, in which case it will not be on camera. So anyway.
A retro Instagram post.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll put it on Instagram. It may not be something that's videoed, but I'm sure I'll put it on Instagram. So anyway, we got to get ready because we're already starting to have people outside, even though it's 9:55 and like 10 seconds. So when we open at 10. So we love you all. Please join us for knit night tonight. It is on Zoom. Shop phone number 828-877-3550 at 6 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And then tomorrow is the most dangerous day of the week, yeah. The VSC, Virtual Shopping Channel. Maybe some things we talked about today will be on it, maybe not. Maybe these things that are suddenly driving everyone nuts that came in that we didn't mention today. You looked at me like, what? Because I was going to talk about them today. We didn't have time today. Yeah. We'll see. So we got new colors of some yarns in, so you got to skulk around our site to find them because we're out of time. Dear Becky and Lizzy is on Thursday. Write us at Dear Becky and Lizzy, Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712.
Or email me, liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
Okay. And sign up for an appointment if you want to come inside and shop this week, y'all, because it's cold outside.
Yeah.
And if you come and say, but it's cold, we'll say, but you should have signed up. We'll be nicer than that. But that's what we'll be thinking, is you need to sign up. Play by the rules, everyone.
It helps.
That's how we stay safe.
It helps keep everybody safe. It helps us keep organized. I had
She's
to
clean.
because
I'm not.
because we have a minute. No, we have 4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes. I'm gonna make people wait their 4 minutes because we need to clean up. We love you all, but we're gonna sign off with you all right now because if there's any chance of this getting up online later today,
we gotta go.
We gotta go. So bye.
Oh, Saturday, Facebook Live.
Yes, Facebook and Zoom Stitch afternoon. We'll tell you more tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye.